little butthurt about everything, man. A little
Oh,
butthurt about it all. We definitely had the fastest trucks, but
Well,
strategy
it
won that
might
race.
it might help if we had sound, but I failed to turn that on, so now everybody can hear us now.
all good. Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, we'll figure it out. I will say, Stick with the Motorsports did redeem themselves a little bit on the Monday Night SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. More on that in a bit. But we're looking right now at the point standings for the Triple M Pulling Truck Series. You see those three drivers on the outside looking in: CJ Fonda, Huck Wigington, Jeffrey Sickles. But up front, you have drivers. Actually, I think these are old point standings. I'm pretty sure Joey Doucette's now the points leader. Um,
Oh, that just reflects the wins. It shows that he has
Oh,
one
my
win
bad.
now.
I can't see. I'm blind. I was say Adam Neubert. I mean, Adam, you had a bunch of wins in the months of February and March, getting you that playoff positioning. But Joey Doucette, the natural points leader, finally getting a win, looking like he may be the odds-on favorite for regular season champion here. But I think that cut line is going to get closer and closer as the season gets out. You see, Jacob Klinkhardt missed another week, so he's dropping down. He's about to lose. He's lost his second drop race already, so he misses another race. That playoff position, I think, opens up a lot more down there, Steven.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
Yeah,
moving
it
on.
does. I'm looking at these point standings and trying to get an idea of what we have going on here. That's a different one I haven't seen yet. So
Dana Shepard dropped quite a bit. He got wrecked out early. I know that. Dep Racing teammate of mine. He's had a rough spot. Not really much else that I think has moved in the point standings last week. I was going through it on simracerhub.com, and not a big difference in the points. So it should be interesting to see how that plays out. Adam Hot Mic. But we'll look over at the power rankings now, real quick, in the Triple M Pulling Truck Series. A little calculation we do here at NASRA based off of recent finishes and so on and so forth. So, looking towards the power rankings in the Triple M Pulling Truck Series, Stephen Thomas, hey, you move up in the power rankings after another solid performance, and obviously having a really strong season, second place in the points right now. You seem a little surprised seeing that pop up. You moving up a spot over your teammate Adam Neubert.
yeah, it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. But like I said, the main goal is just obviously making the playoffs for I feel like everybody that is in it right now. I don't think anybody's too worried about Joey Doucette's pretty much locked. I guess not necessarily locked in the point standings, but pretty close. I feel like everybody's just wanting to get to the playoffs and see what happens from there. Again, we have a championship 6, and what is the race to get into uh the final?
I say I can't remember off the top of my head the final race meet for the final 6.
Yeah, before we get into the final 6. Anybody
I,
know?
I was
Brady,
gonna
what's the
say.
final race before we get into the final 6 this year? I want to say it's a super speedway.
Oh, another super speedway cutoff race
I
always
think
makes
so. I'm
people
sure
happy.
everybody's just
Yeah,
trying to
it's
get to
Talladega
those
again. It is
playoffs.
Talladega again. I just pulled
Yeah,
it up.
that's what I
So
thought.
you guys love
Everybody's just
that.
looking forward to the playoffs and trying to stay clean to that race, I'm sure. But Adam, I believe you're muted still, just in case you didn't know.
Yeah, we're also. I mean, we have 2 weeks left in the regular season Triple M Pulling Truck
There
Series,
we go.
Indianapolis, and then I guess Worldwide Technology. So 2 races left. Uh, it's gonna be interesting end to the season. Indianapolis and WWT race very differently. Should provide some
Jose
interesting
sit-
racing.
Jose sitting in the top 10 in the power rankings.
Yeah, if he can put a race together, not wreck everyone on his way to the front, maybe actually a half decent driver. Have to give him a hard time, teammate of mine. But let's move
Yeah.
on to our Tuesday series because I know we want to get talking with the Champ 4 that are here with us tonight. So looking at the Pulse Popper Late Model Stock Series, last night, Darren's Nail Gun Repair 150 at New Smyrna. Steven, it was kind of the Rhett Tucker show, a little bit late after some chaos early. I wouldn't say it was a clean race by any stretch of the imagination. A lot of cautions in that first half.
Yeah, I think the broadcast ended up saying there were 16 or 17 cautions on that night. It seemed like a lot more. But it was a good finish for sure. I don't know where Rhett had that speed, man. He was pulling out of the corners so fast every lap. And I don't know where. I think I had at least 11 or 12 laps fresher tires than he did and just had nothing for him. But I'll take second.
Yeah, Rhett Tucker goes 2 for 2 to start the season in the Pulse Poppers Late Model Stock Series with the win at New Smyrna. Although front row, Blake Lothian on pole, and then another Champ 4 driver in the Monday Night Series, Carey Trabue, start outside front row. Those drivers got to skip the heats. Heat number 1 went to Nick Sacco, I believe, and then heat number 2, I'm pretty sure, went to you, good sir, Steven. It was Rhett Tucker. You beat him in that second heat in a pretty tight battle. I did enjoy watching that second heat. A lot cleaner than the first, a little bit less chaos, which I think was probably why, in my opinion, those short amount of laps was the best racing we saw that night, except for maybe the last 40 laps of the finale.
Yeah, I think we only had 10 cars finish the race, 10 or 11 cars finish the race. How many do we have join? Do you know?
I believe 17 or 18. It was a pretty small
Okay.
entry field that night.
Yeah, like I said, it was. We have a couple. I think we have a couple more adjustments for the Tuesday night Pulse Poppers, but it has a lot of potential as far as the talent in that series and if the entertainment of watching those late models and the short track racing. Like I said, there's a lot of potential for that one to grow and be awesome, but we have some adjustments to make for sure.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that. I think that tire change option was an interesting one, but not being able to enforce it at the halfway break, I think, kind of affected some of the racing. So maybe we'll see some future rule adjustments, or maybe we get rid of that tire change option in the future. I think it just depends on track.
If I'm not mistaken, we weren't even supposed to have a stage that race. It was just supposed to be one tire change, and I think there was a little mishap in the settings. So I think I have a feeling our stage will be gone, or a little break there, but we may have tires still. But we'll see. Like I said, a lot of potential, a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, the racing was awesome, and I thought it was great watching the drivers get sideways off the corner. So definitely check that out on Tuesday nights. Junior broadcast crew, first time they broadcasted last night. They're getting the hang of it. They'll grow throughout the season with the series, we hope, and looking forward to great racing in the future. But now we will move on to the main event for tonight's podcast, and that's the Monday Night SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. They had the Over the Top Designs 200 from Talladega Super Speedway. As you see there in green, those four drivers are your championship four: Adam Neubert, Carey Trabue, Brady Lebouf, and Nate Mowrer. Brady Lebouf is already locked in thanks to his victory at Nashville Super Speedway the week prior. And Adam Neubert and Nate Mowrer were pretty much locked in on points before we even started the race, Steven. Seeing how that race played out was a great points battle early on, but war of attrition, it seemed, for everyone else in that Elite Eight. We had Robbie Richards and Kyle Hess both getting taken out early, and Chris Blanchard getting trapped a lap down after missing his pit stall under green flag stops. It ended up being a pretty great night for Swim Motorsports as well, or Sick With It Motorsports, correction. 3 of the top 4 drivers.
Yeah, and all those drivers sat in the back of the pack and just rode around for a while. And then I believe they pitted. Their strategy was to pit early and get out and just hook up in a 4-car link, and they made up a lot of time. Nobody had anything for them at the end of the race. Luckily, they didn't get a caution and then stayed up there.
Yeah, as a broadcaster in that event, it was interesting watching that progress throughout, because I was keeping an eye on SDK live timing and scoring and noticed that 4-truck pack was making about a second a lap on that big field. I was waiting for the field to come in, the leaders to pit. They ended up taking too long, and then they ended up coming in about 3 to 4 different groups, I think, which also hurt their chances. And then when they did get back together, they didn't really get in single file for a while. But at this point in time, we're going to bring in our championship.
Real quick, Tyler, the big thing to take away from that, and I'm not even sure if Carey knows this or not, but he squeezed in because of Sean Hamilton running out of gas on the last lap. I think Sean Hamilton had him in points by just a few going into the last lap and ran out of gas on the backstretch and lost enough positions to squeeze Carey Trabue in the final 4.
So I was keeping track of that, Steven, and actually, Carey Trabue would have still got in by about 2 points, even if Hamilton didn't run out of gas, because there was because Blanchard got trapped a lap down, which prevented Trabue, as long as he made that final lap through, he was going to get by. But it did make it a lot more interesting seeing Sean Hamilton run out of gas at the end. He went from about 5th to 11th, I believe, finishing behind Carey Trabue. I believe you finished 10th. At this point in time, we will bring in our championship 4 drivers: Adam Neubert, Nate Mowrer, Brady Lebouf, and Carey Trabue from top to bottom, left to right in that order. Steven, we have our championship 4 with us now, and I think the best thing to do is kind of let these drivers quickly do a quick introduction of themselves, their teams, and then we can get on to questions to ask these championship 4. So we'll start with you, Mr. Podcast Host, in the top left, generally when I'm not here, Adam Neubert. Name, team, and any expectations coming in next week?
Let's see. Adam Neubert, everybody knows me. I'm usually the host on this show, but letting Tyler Dittmer fill my spot for tonight. Race for Swim, Sigwith at Motorsports. And the expectation is all these three guys, other guys in the corner on this screen, we're going to beat that ass next week.
Well, moving on, we'll go with our regular season champion. You can introduce yourself and your team and so on and so forth.
Driver of the 971, Nate Mowrer. Drive for Brute Motorsports. Yeah, one season. Then some competition showed up. Adam Neubert halfway through and started running some part-time. Started running full-time halfway through the season, and competition got a lot harder and came in and kind of beat my ass ever since then. I think I only got 1 or 2 wins since he's joined, but threw a couple of them away. Should have had a couple, but everybody can say that. But it's been a fun season.
We'll move on next to the driver who was the first to lock himself into the championship 4 with his win at Nashville Super Speedway. It's the boss man.
Yep, Brady Lebouf here, driver of the number 9 NRE Power Systems Chevrolet. I run for Mission 1 Esports.
A man of very few words, not going to talk any smack. And we're going to move on to the final driver into the championship 4, sneaking in on points after a very exciting and tight points battle until about late when I was pretty confident he had wrapped it up. That's that driver of the number 7 machine.
This Carey Trabue, number 7, Hunter Performance Motorsports. Yeah, just had luck on my way this whole series. Just I want to say, I didn't think I'd get in the top 4, but we just prevailed.
Well, Steven, now that the championship 4 has introduced themselves, I'll let you open up the floor with your first question to the group or any specific drivers.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start off with pretty much the same question to all you guys if you want to go in the same order as far as did you expect to be in the championship 4 coming into the season? What was your hopes and like I said, was you expecting to get this far in the series? Adam?
I mean, my hopes was to make it to the championship 4. I didn't know if it was going to be doable or not, because all these guys are very talented drivers, and there's probably some other guys that I knew was going to be a threat. I mean, there's plenty of guys that were going to be a threat. So, but I hope to make it to the championship 4. I mean, we didn't. The first half of the season started off rough. I wouldn't say I was part-time. I missed a couple races in the first half of the season, but just was able to turn it around and show back up.
Nathan, obviously you have raced in other leagues and I believe have had success. Did you feel like you were going to have this kind of success coming into NASRA this season?
No, after that first race, racing up there, the guy in the top left corner of my screen there, Mr. Carey. I almost didn't come back. I'm like, man, I got right down like lap 5 of this race. I'm like, is this how these guys race? I mean, this is my first race ever with with NASRA. I just didn't know how. I was like, man, is this how these people are going to race every week? And I came back. I forget. Someone talked me and I think it was Robbie. Thanks to Robbie for showing me you guys. Been fun ever since. But I mean, the first season here, I was just kind of trying to feel some things out, how people race, and no, I guess I wouldn't. I mean, I didn't think I was going to make it. I was hoping to make it, but I guess I wouldn't say I was making it. Just trying to feel everything out for the first season here, and so whatever happens next week, I'm just happy I made it here to the Final 4 and hopefully come back next season, make it again.
Nice. Brady, you obviously won a championship in the Friday Night Series, season 3, correct?
Yep.
Is that your reasoning for leaving Friday night? You wanted to go get a championship in a Monday Night Series and have 2, or what's up, man? Did you feel like you'd be here at the end of the season?
No, I mean, I had to take a step back from the Friday night series just because, my kids are getting older. They're playing football, baseball. There's a lot of, we're in travel baseball. So, we leave sometimes on Friday nights and head 4 hours away, 6 hours away sometimes and play baseball all over the country. And you really can't commit to running full time on Friday nights when, kids play football on Friday night lights and stuff like that. So I wasn't going to do that to my kids and, try to put priorities where they needed to be. So that's why the Monday series was kind of pretty much started, was to give me and some other guys an opportunity to continue to run instead of just managing and running part time. I will say that, I didn't know who Carey Trabue was beginning of the seasons. Sean Hamilton, Steve Barnett, a bunch of these other guys that had joined. There was a lot of fresh faces. I've never raced with Nathan Mowrer or Justin White, any of those guys. So I didn't know what to expect. The goal is to always get here and expect to make the playoffs, but you never know how the playoffs are going to go too, because, we've had a bunch of people that, like Steve, Adam, they actually missed a playoff race, the first round. So you just don't know what happens in life. So you can't really expect to be here. But it's obviously the goal. And Adam Neubert is a hack, by the way, because I didn't believe that he was even going to make it with missing that playoff race in the beginning.
I had all the doubters, man. I had all the doubters. Got to prove them
And
wrong.
Carrie, you obviously said that you were surprised that you've gotten where you were. Have you ran in any other leagues besides NASRA, or is this your
Uh,
first league you jumped into?
no, I ran in another league before getting with you guys. A guy named Rob Hodeback told me about you guys and maybe to join. And I don't know, I was happy after the first Daytona duels and the first week. I was very tickled to race with you guys. After I got into Nate, I was quite unsure on how you guys all felt going forward after that.
I can
And
tell you how
so
I felt.
I know exactly how you felt. I know how a lot of people feel, but as far as racing later down the line, I got more confidence and I felt like I was able to race around everybody a lot cleaner and got more respect. And I don't know, just something clicked once playoffs happened, and I mean, I'm here.
Nice.
And then they're going to be teammates next season.
Nathan and Carrie?
Yes, we are.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Okay.
hell.
The world may end at that point in time. The first time those two get into it on track as teammates, that team may have to have a serious competition meeting. But at this point, I'd also like to point out just the different seasons you all have had coming to this point in time, entering the week for a championship race. Carrie, obviously, you won the Clash, first ever race for the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series at Daytona. And then you kind of went into a cold spell, but I wouldn't say it was a cold spell. The last four races of the regular season, you were a top five driver every single week. I had taken note of that a couple times on the broadcast, maybe not getting the wins, but consistency. And then you win the opening playoff race at Richmond, thanks to maybe a little bit of chaos behind you. Meanwhile, Nate Mowrer, you were on a hot streak over the Christmas holidays, winning three straight races in a row, and kind of had some stiffer competition with Adam Neubert showing up, Justin White, Steve Barnett winning a few races in between, and then you go out and you win Charlotte Motor Speedway. Meanwhile, Adam Neubert, the man who is on a mission all of February and March, winning five races in a span of about what it seems 8 weeks, just could not be stopped, earning the nickname the Money Man from my co-host on Monday nights, Will Tiller, who I know Adam just absolutely loves that nickname, by the way. So everyone should keep calling him that.
No.
And then Brady Lebouf. I mean, Brady, you win week 2 at Pocono, maybe after Nate Maurer got dumped in the lead, which was probably one of the most controversial wrecks we've had of the season, other than maybe a couple other incidents. You win at Pocono, and then you kind of go on a little bit of a slow spell, consistent top fives, and then you go out first round of the Elite Eight, win at Nashville, and lock yourself into the Championship 4. You've all had different paths to get here. How do you feel about each other, I would say, coming in this week? We heard a little bit of banter back and forth between Nate and Carrie and between Brady and Adam, but do you guys expect each other to race clean? Are you expecting one of these four drivers to maybe race you a little bit harder? Are you expecting maybe to swap some paint coming into Chicagoland? How do you think this plays out? And we'll go backwards order. We'll start with Carrie, and then we'll work our way back around.
Well, I plan on racing these guys the same I've raced them the whole year. I mean, not to give any inch or give them any space, but I mean, if they got the run, I'm not gonna let them take the spot, but I'm not gonna get ran over at the same time. I just kind of want to be there at the end and see what we got, if we can compete with Nate and Adam, and definitely Brady. Brady, I believe is gonna be just as fast as those other two guys. So, um, it is what it is. At the end of the day, like I said, I'm happy to be here, but I'm definitely gonna try and do something maybe a little bit different than what these three do, just to try to put some pressure on them.
I feel like you boys need to go after this Adam Neubert kid, because
Oh my God.
the whole time we're talking, he's just up there smirking. He thinks he's got this locked in the bag. I'm telling you, you guys. that's you need to shut that shit down. Go on, Brady.
I'm
No,
smirking.
well,
I'm smirking for other reasons right now.
I can tell you right now, Adam doesn't have it in the bag because, like,
Whew.
just what Carey said, I've raced Adam, I've raced Nate, I've even raced Carey, and I think Carey and I has only had one incident so far this year. So it's always been pretty much clean with the other three drivers. But I'm gonna do my own strategy that pretty much I've been doing at the mile and a half this season, and just kind of get to the final run and see if it's gonna be green flag pit stops, what's going to take place in the race. Usually there's always something that's a wild card factor. Um, I think Nate's going to be up there, Adam, Carey. Carey to me is the most dangerous person right now because I just think that he's going to be up there. Nate's going to, do Nate things. He's going to show up at the end. He's going to find a way to be up there. And I'm just going to have to continue blocking Adam like I've done all year long and
Oh,
make sure he finishes behind me.
I wish I could see Adam Neubert's face. I can't even see him. It's a black screen. I don't know why.
oh.
Mm.
If you go to Discord, you can see
Yeah,
him.
if
Go,
you
go to
move your
his
screen to the
live
Discord,
stream.
you can see
Yeah,
him on
go
what he's
live.
sharing.
Watch the
Like I
live
said,
Discord.
I wish you could, cause I'm telling you, Nate, you need to bring it to
There
him.
we
He
go.
said he thinks he's got this locked up.
Look at that ugly
He's
mug
been
up there.
talking. He's been talking for
Shoot.
2 weeks. I'm already in. I've got this. I'm gonna give
Oh
you a
my
Monday night
God.
championship. I love you, Adam. I'm just I got to be real with these guys.
Yeah, I probably
Money,
have been.
money,
I
money,
probably
man.
have been
Thanks.
talking the most smack. I told Brady I was gonna break his foot when I seen him this weekend at Talladega. That way I ain't gotta worry about him on Monday.
I'll be surprised if Adam runs top 10 at Chicago.
Oh
Ooh,
hell!
top
Well,
10.
Nathan, with all this smack talk going around, how do you feel coming into this race at Chicago? You've won on a couple intermediates already this season. You won on the second to last intermediate at Charlotte. Brady obviously winning the last intermediate we ran at in Nashville. So how do you feel entering this weekend?
Uh, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I won't turn a lap until Monday when the practice session opens up. I don't know. I went back and did watch a little bit of my race today from when I raced there a couple months ago, and I won. Uh, I didn't think I was that good there. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, kind of like what Brady said. I'm kind of guy. I don't like battling up front right away.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell Carey, I always tell Adam, I always let all them guys always go around me. I just like watching how they race first. It's kind of like what I did in New Hampshire when I beat Brady, is just seeing what he was doing, had to do something better to beat him, and that was probably my all-time favorite league race. Shout out to you, Brady. That was my funnest league race I ever had in my life. But I don't know. We're gonna see what happens. I mean, I don't know what P2 pays out, but I'm kind of feel like I'm gonna finish P2 or behind there. I probably won't win, but I don't like going in there, kind of like Adam Neubert, talking smack, because I'm a big believer in karma. I've had karma dealt to me many times, and I don't know. I just hope everybody races each other clean. Um, I don't know. I'm excited for it. I mean, it's
Why
gonna be fun.
why do you say you're not going to run a lap until Monday night practice session?
I don't know. I just don't practice, man. I'm bored. I just get bored sitting here doing practice laps by myself. So
That's the same exact. That's why I
I
asked,
will
man.
say,
I
yeah.
don't run a lap the whole week for the same reason. Like if somebody asks me, hey, we're in here running a few laps, I'll jump in there. But if not, I don't jump in until that same time.
yeah,
Well,
whenever
Adam's
Brandon,
already Adam's already asked me if I would practice with him before I left for Talladega.
Oh my gosh, Adam.
I'm just telling Steven there's a mandatory swim practice on Sunday night. He better be at.
I will try my best.
But
Steven,
Adam
I'm
runs
just be
Adam
there
runs
and
very
wreck him every
in
lap,
there.
Steven. Don't let him
Speaking
get a
of
good
that,
lap.
I'm allowed to run in that race, right? Because I ran the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sure are.
Yeah, okay, just kind of confirming that. That might just happen
We
here
all know
before.
Adam needs all the help he can get. So
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
there's gonna be teammates helping teammates. It's gonna be it's gonna be good. It's gonna be
That's the
good.
reason I'm going to show up, Adam.
No.
That's the reason.
No,
'Cause
I don't want.
want.
I don't want
What?
any help from my teammates or any of my teammates blocking for me. I'll just say that right
Oh,
now.
I wouldn't block. Well, I
I
would.
don't know, Adam. It wasn't much help last Friday night at Kansas. I mean, I still went around all you guys.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Is that how that happened?
That's how that happened.
Well, Adam, you seem to be the most confident driver coming in, or at least we're giving you enough as if you were the most confident driver coming into this week. You do have multiple wins on the intermediates here so far this season, but you haven't won either of the last 2 intermediates, going to 2 other Championship 4 contenders. What do you have to do to get it done at Chicagoland to break the spell away from Brady or Nate?
Well, as long as Brady doesn't follow me around at the end of the second stage and learn all the secrets to be fast like he did at Nashville Super Speedway, we're probably not going to have to worry about him too much. So, you know, I am full of smack talk. I'm sorry. But, no, I mean, with all due respect to all 3 of these other guys in here, these are 3 guys that I have not had any issues with this season. You can race them hard, you can race them fast, you can race all 3 of them clean. You can go as deep as you want to into the corner with them, and you can trust they're not going to door you. That's the one thing I have enjoyed. That's the one thing I've enjoyed racing all 3 of these guys this season. I've raced all 3 of them for a win. I'm pretty sure I've raced Carey for a win, I think. So it's been really fun. There's no reason any 3 of these guys can't go into Chicagoland and win the race. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. They're all going to be tough. It's going to be very difficult Friday night to beat these guys. For 1 on strategy and, I mean, 2 on speed as well. I mean, they're not going to be slow.
Well, I do appreciate the honesty from all 4 of you on your thoughts on each other, but also thoughts coming into this race. Steven, if you had another question before I ask a little bit more driver-specific ones.
No, go ahead, buddy.
So I do want to start first with you, actually, Adam, for a driver-specific question. You were the hottest driver in all of March and February in NASRA. It didn't matter what series you were in. You found a way to win the race, generally speaking, earning you that moniker from Will Tiller, Money Man, and I'm going to keep using that because I know you absolutely love it. What kind of changed in that time period that allowed you to maybe take that giant leap forward? Because obviously you've always been a very fast driver in NASRA series, but you hadn't won at that pace up before at that point in time. What changed allowed you to kind of gain maybe some of that knowledge? And also, how are you going to apply those lessons learned? I know Steven's going to take some credit for this, obviously. How are you going to apply those lessons learned here in the Championship 4 race?
I mean, I guess as far as what changed, I don't really know what changed. There was nothing. I didn't put in any extra practice. Steven raises his finger, says I changed. Me. I mean, Steven definitely helps. Being in the Discord, Steven, being in Discord with guys that are faster than you and are better than you, that really always helps because you always listen to what they do during the race, how their attitude is towards it. I mean, that's a big thing. Another thing, I guess, is just go back to having fun. I think there for a while I was just having a bunch of bad luck and wasn't having fun, wasn't enjoying racing, and then finally just got to where you finally get some good luck, you get a couple good finishes, and then you start having fun again. And I mean, that's pretty much just how it went. Started having fun. Another thing is we started qualifying better. I'm historically, a pretty bad qualifier. Qualifying up front helps keep you out of the back, keeps you out of a lot of that rough driving back there. And I mean, that's really it. What was the second question?
It was more, how do you apply those lessons, I guess, learned towards Chicagoland next week, and I guess keeping that positive mentality, realizing that there is, I mean, quite a bit on the line. Obviously, championships here at NASRA do pay out pretty nice for an online video game series, to say the least. And obviously the prestige that comes, especially against racing some of these other drivers. Does that maybe put some added pressure and take a little bit of the fun out of it, treating it more seriously, or are you still going to kind of go in with that more positive, fun attitude?
I'm going to go in with the positive, fun attitude. I'm having fun right now. I think, as far as lessons learned, I think you just go back to everything you've been through the season, everything you've been through, even on Friday nights racing that truck series. You learn things at every race that you are in, whether it's track specific, strategy specific, saving tires specific, whatever it is. You take those lessons each and every single week, and you just build off of that. And you got to put it all together in the final race.
I appreciate the honesty, and I think that's something maybe that gets lost sight, is having fun in these series. We might take that for granted, some of us. So I appreciate that, you having that new look forward. But we're going to shift on to a driver who was the regular season champion and seemed to have it all figured out early on. Nate Mowrer. Nate, you're the inaugural regular season champion for the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. You were the first driver to win multiple races in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series, winning 3 in a row back in December into January. How do you apply those season-long lessons learned across the 4 different wins you've had this season coming to Chicagoland? Obviously, most of your wins came at intermediate-style races. And how do you apply that going forward, also against your competition?
I mean, Adam knew it. I going into the play. I mean, I got hot. I did get hot there. I always I just had. I mean, I was hot in all my other leagues too, and then I just kind of cool off. I don't know. I don't know what happens, but no. Then entering the playoffs, I seen all them playoff points that I had. I just took just I was wanting to take advantage of my playoff points and just kind of finish decent, but not be aggressive for the win really. Um, then it came that Elite Eight round, and whatever round I won that Charlotte race. I was like, man, I kind of want some more playoff points for that next round going to Dega, because Dega did have me scared there. I had a feeling I wasn't going to make it through, and stepped it up there at Charlotte. And Charlotte, I'm not really good there. 3 and 4, I struggle in a lot, but I think other people just struggle more than I did that night, and we were able to pull it off. I forget how I even won it, but I don't know. I saved everything up that I kept back for a couple weeks, and going to lay everything on the line here next Monday night, and just hope for the best, and yeah, whatever happens happens.
Do you think there is that little bit of added pressure knowing you are the regular season champ, kind of almost in a dominating fashion? It was really close with you and Justin White for a while, but Justin White fell off a little bit the last few weeks of the season. Does that add any pressure? Do you feel like people may expect you to win this championship?
No, I mean, to me, yeah, people might say, "Hey, congrats on the regular season championship," but that regular season championship don't take it the wrong way. Don't really mean anything to me. Nobody cares about a regular season championship. I mean, you care about the main championship. At least that's how I feel about it. So yeah, I mean, no, there's no pressure at all. There's no pressure at all. Uh, we're just gonna go in. We're just gonna go into Monday night acting like it's a regular, just another regular season race, and see, just I'm not gonna take it any different than I would from a regular race.
I appreciate the honesty with that, and a different perspective I think than maybe some would have in your position. Moving on to Brady, my main question for you: you were the first driver locked into the championship four with that win at Nashville. Kind of took a little bit of a weight off of your shoulders. Were you able to translate that win into focusing ahead already on Chicagoland? Have you been able to run any laps? And also, how do you feel like this season has gone as you've transitioned from the Friday night series over here to the Monday night series? And what have you noticed, I would say, in the level of competition and quality of competition difference across the two series?
Well, as far as the competition, I would almost say that it's, like for like. Um, you have a handful of the same guys from Friday nights that came over to Monday nights and ran. You also have some newcomers like I mentioned, Carey, Nate, Justin White, Steve Barnett. Just to name a few. But those guys, are just as competitive as the Stephen Thomas, the Keith Bradleys, the Tyler Dittmers, just to name a few guys over there on Friday night. Chris Cinnamon's another one. There's almost similarities to some of the drivers on Mondays that you almost feel like you're racing against those guys on Friday night still. No matter
I
where
can
you
agree with
go,
that for sure.
you you always have to go into a league or a series or a race, and as much as everybody wants to win, you have to be humbled going into it, because I didn't know who Carey Trabue was. But now I do. I didn't know who some of these guys were. Nate Mowrer, uh, raced with him for wins, and he's one of the cleanest drivers that I can say that I've ever raced with, for victories. So I would say the competition is like for like, and as far as getting that win at Nashville Super Speedway, it took a lot of pressure off. I had that one circled. It was about, when you go into the playoffs, this is the last time that we're going to run this format of 16 guys, because we're going to go to 20, and then we're going to go to championship 6. So we're going to have to put 2 more screens up here, next season when we do this interview. But um, it's tough going through the playoffs, because you just don't know who's been kind of saving some stuff, who's not been showing everything. And then, there's a lot of pressure to perform during the playoffs. So going through the round of 16, then going through the round of 12, getting to the round of 8, and you have to win that Nashville Super Speedway race before going into the Talladega race, because Talladega race, as you saw couple of nights ago, it's really, really a wild card. That's why I love putting it right there. You don't know to stay in the back. You don't know if the race for stage points. It puts a lot of pressure, and it makes it fun for the guys that's trying to race their way in. And Chicago, I'll admit that I ran some laps there ahead of time, and I'm ready to go. So as far as, the pressure going into it, I don't feel like there's any pressure. Out of Adam, Nate, and Carey, I'm the only one that's been in this position before when it comes to NASRA racing for a championship. So I know what it takes to win these championships. I know what I'm capable of doing, and I'm undefeated. So until one of these guys take me down, I'm basically the Michael Jordan of NASRA.
Wait a second.
Dang.
That doesn't even make sense. How are
That's
you
those Tony
undefeated?
Stewart comments right there.
I think he's referring to. He's only racing as
one
Adam.
season?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's racing as Adam in a champion, or not. Well, Adam didn't make the championship before in that series for NASRA.
He was a kid then.
Yeah.
He didn't even know
Yeah.
his name whenever that happened.
But to let y'all know, first place $400, second $250, third place $125, and fourth will get $75, which would most likely be Adam or Nate. One of those.
Explain the undefeated comment real quick. I need an explanation.
This is the second time I'm in the Final Four, and the first time I did it, I won it. Against
okay.
you, I
So
might add.
you're just counting that
Ooh.
when you
Against
make
you.
it to the championship 4, you're undefeated.
He is saying Michael Jordan when he makes the championship, he wins is what he's. He is
Okay,
literally
I
quite
got
doing
you.
Michael Jordan comparison.
All right.
I think he backed into that one too, didn't he?
I know Steven's still mad about the season 3 championship,
Oh,
but hey,
I'm
buddy.
pissed.
I mean,
I'm pissed.
You know,
If you had to spell Brady Lebouf, it would be
still-
Hack.
I would say that I still have the video to the link if you want to rewatch the race with me.
I went back and watched it a few times, but I appreciate it.
Still not as frustrating as.
It's just like Kansas. The only way you'll beat me is strategy.
Yeah, there you go. Oh.
Ooh.
Well, moving on, Carey, you were the last driver to come into this Final Four. Yeah. You were the last driver to make the Final Four. Do you kind of feel like you're a bit of an underdog coming into this race? And I mean, I wouldn't say you're necessarily a large underdog, even if you were to be considered one. You won at Richmond. You know how to win at 2 different types of tracks, a super speedway and a short track. Now you come to an intermediate where you had pretty decent success to end the regular season, maybe not getting the wins, but running top 5 week in, week out. Does that kind of give you a little bit of confidence coming in, and maybe the underdog mentality gives you maybe a bit of an edge compared to these other 3 drivers?
Definitely. I mean, I definitely don't feel like I'm at their caliber each and every week, but I mean, every week we could just go and race and at different tracks, and I just come at the end and I'm there. So I think if I just keep knocking on the door, I feel like I'm there to give these guys a good shot at the end. But yeah, I definitely feel like I'm the underdog because I definitely don't have the qualifying quickness as these guys have each and every week. So I'm going to be battling my way through all their teammates just to get to them. So it'll be fun though. I can't wait.
You mentioned that you're not as strong of a qualifier. Do you think that opens up the door for maybe for you to do some alternate strategy, kind of looking at how the stages are maybe set up once? I don't know if the stages have been announced yet, Brady, but once you see those stages announced, does that maybe allow you to tinker with strategy, try something different to gain track position on the front 3 and maybe flip the race on them?
Definitely, or I don't know. Usually the first stage I can get through a lot of the guys, so I mean I can get up there by the end of the first stage. We can see what happens after that, but it's definitely going to come down to that last stage. But yeah, definitely these guys have been really tough all season long, and so I don't expect anything but a really tight race, just like Dega was.
Well, I appreciate your comments on that. Steven, if you have any other quick questions for the driver, obviously maybe a little bit of technical difficulty for Steven. Do you have any questions for these guys?
Yeah, sorry, the dog's at the door barking. I'm trying to tell somebody to get him. I don't, man. I had a good time talking to you guys and hearing a little shit talking back and forth before this race. I know I said earlier that I may race in it, but it might be better to sit back and be a spectator and watch it instead. So we'll see. But hopefully we get a bunch of viewers in to watch the championship race this coming Monday. It's going to be a good show for sure, man. It has been all I've been paying attention to the Monday Night Series all week because like to touch on what Brady said earlier. Um, very similar. I've raced in a bunch of Monday night races with these guys, and I've made plenty of comments about how much fun it has been compared to some of the Friday night races we've had. So there's a bunch of good drivers in here, and it's a task for these four to make it to the championship four, and it's going to be a good one to watch. I'm rooting against Brady. I can tell you that much.
Well, I'm actually going to put you on the spot, Steven. You have to pick one of these drivers to be your champion. I know
Just
you're
told
going to
you
say
who's not
Adam.
gonna win it.
I know.
If he doesn't
If-
pick his teammate,
If he doesn't
he's
pick his
fired.
teammate, yeah, I was saying.
Fired. I don't think he can be the one to fire me. I was
I think
going to
that's
pick him
Jeff
until he
Sickles'
said
job.
those
Ooh.
words.
Yeah.
Oof, I got enough pull
No,
there.
I mean honestly, with teammate or not, I would go into to choosing Adam because of what he's done this season, and if it wasn't him, I would choose Brady for what he's done in the past. But like I said, all these guys are here for a reason. Like I said, as long as Brady don't win, I'm straight. I mean,
Well, I'm actually going to put the you four drivers on the spot. You cannot pick yourself. Who do you think is your toughest competition Monday night? Who do you think pulls it off? We'll start with Adam.
I gotta say Nate. I think Nate's had the mile and a half speed, and he's an ultimate race strategist. So when it comes down to strategy and what needs to be done and the thought process to it, Nathan is the ultimate guy at that.
Harry, we'll go with you next. Actually, who do you think has the most speed to get it done?
Thinking Brady's got it. I think the experience, might be the little bit of the edge he needs, but I'm gonna go with Brady.
Nate, we'll go you next.
I don't know. I mean, smart man would say Adam. Um, but I don't know. I mean, it's just hard. I mean, if we're going to like, I don't know. I want to go with Adam. I guess I gotta go with a mile and a half. I don't know. I think anyone's capable at a track. I mean, a track like Chicagoland. I mean, it's not really a
hot hand, right? I mean,
it's
hot
not. I
hand.
mean, it's not really like a driver technical track. So I mean,
I will say Chicago is one of my favorite tracks.
it's. I mean, I hate New Hampshire. I went out and won that. I mean, saying it's your favorite track ain't saying much. But
I was about to
I
say
mean,
you got wrecked out at Pocono, and wasn't that one of your favorite tracks there, Nate? So
yep. And I was just looking, and I forget who it said. Brady was saying I'm one of the cleanest drivers to race around. I'm just looking here. Within the top 24 in points this season, I only got 49 incidence points. The next person has 64. That was Adam Neubert.
Oh,
Man,
still
you
lower
must
than
wreck a
Brady
lot.
and Carey.
You must wreck, and you even got but you got less races though. So
Exactly. He's been doing
Oh.
that all this year. He likes to
Well,
talk, he
come
likes to
on.
talk about his
Say,
incidents.
you got to
but he
do
doesn't
incident
race
per
in 3
race.
races.
It's more accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Brady, who's gonna win it, bro? It's not gonna be
Well,
you. Who's gonna
It's
win
not
it?
going to be Adam because
Oh.
Steven's going to tell him to take 2 tires at the end, and Steven's going to fall back, and you're going to hear them crying to each other. You told me to take 2 tires instead of 4. I knew I should have taken 4. Because that's how Steven loses championships. So why not? I'm gonna go ahead and pick Carey Trabue. I definitely can see Carey beating all of us. Not so much of a surprise. I know he's only got 1 victory at Richmond. Beat Steven at his own hometown track. Look at that cute little cutting board. But yeah, I'm going. If I had to pick somebody besides myself, I'm picking that 7 truck.
Well, I will not say who I'm picking. I'll leave that for my broadcast Monday night. I will make that pick then. So unfortunately, you all will have to wait for my selection then. I will say, though, this is a great time to plug all of our series. Friday night, the Triple M Pulling Truck Series heads to Indianapolis, not the road course, thankfully. I don't think I trust those guys on that road course quite yet. Having run with them, I don't even think I trust myself on that road course, to be quite honest, in a truck. But then next week, the championship 4 decided. SimRacerHub.com Truck Series Monday night, Chicagoland Speedway. And does anyone know where Pulse Poppers Late Models is next week?
Ooh.
North Wilkesboro.
Oh, North Wilkesboro. That'll be a fun one. A blast to the past. Those cars do race quite fun there. Different driving entry points. Up into 3, you can brake a lot later than you can down to 1. You might want to brake earlier. You'll go off the hill. But should be a great battle between these 4 drivers next Monday night. I'll be in the booth with Will Tiller, and I believe Wesley Outland will actually be joining us as well. Again, have 3 company in the booth. So looking forward to that race. Any parting thoughts for the Championship 4 drivers before we wrap this thing up?
I definitely think it's going to be a race nobody wants to miss.
Oh yeah, I think as much as everything was said, it's all fun. I've been knowing Adam for over a year now. I just got to know Nathan and Carey over this grueling 25-week season. So as much as I want to say we're all friends or competitors or enemies or whatnot, at the end of the day, I wish nothing but the best of luck to all of them. I know it's going to be clean. I know it's going to be hard racing. It's going to be fun. And also for season 2, the format's going to follow Friday night, where we go to 20 drivers, 14 drivers, and the round of 10 to the round of 6. But what's going to make it even more interesting is the round of 10, all the points are going to reset to 0. So Nate had all those playoff points that he accumulated next season. All that's going to go away that round.
Yeah, it should be fun to see how that season progresses. Steven, are you running full-time season 2 on the Monday night series, or are you staying part-time?
Most likely I'll be staying part-time and full-time Friday night, unless everybody leaves Friday night and goes to Monday night. I'm not leaving Friday night.
Well, you will definitely have some interesting competition on the part-time side, but on the full-time side, that Friday night series still has tons of very talented drivers. I know a lot of things have shaken up in the Monday night series next year. We obviously see Nate and Carey will be teammates next season. Lord knows that can only go so many different ways wrong. But wishing the best of luck to our Championship 4 drivers. Anyone else? Final thoughts? I know Brady and Adam stole the show there. Anything from Carey or Nate?
Yeah, I guess I just thinking there. I guess I'm gonna be teammates with everybody in here except Brady next season. I'll be running full time Friday nights there with Adam and Steven. And sorry, Brady got man out. And next season, on Monday nights we were kind of looking for another guy, and I told Robbie, let's get Carey. He's like, you want Carey on your team? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, after the first race, I didn't like the guy, but I mean, I grew to like him. I call him the Ryan Newman of the Monday Night Truck Series. I mean, Tucker is hard as hell to pass when you got to get around him. He will take the preferred line, even though he's running 3 to 4 tenths slower than you each lap. But I mean, I think he's going. I mean, Carey's been so good. He's got really good long run speed. I think if we get his qualifying better, he'd be in contention for a lot more wins. I mean, if you look at Robbie Richards, I didn't think Robbie Richards was that great of a driver. He was very aggressive. Always. I mean, I seen he caused a big wreck last night in your.
He's not that great of a driver,
Gen,
if you want my
Gen
opinion.
4. He's getting better though. I mean, his aggressiveness, but I feel like he's gotten better this season. If he would have listened to me Monday night, he'd be in the Final Four right now. I told him, you want your stage, get the hell in the back, just ride around, you'll be all right. Carey got in that wreck. I was like, dude, it's looking good, and nope, he thought he had to be King Tut up there in front, and got wrecked by one of his own teammates. And but now Carey's in here, so he ran a smarter race, and it's gonna be fun battling with you guys next Monday.
Final thoughts, Carey?
Just I'm ready to race all you guys and get it on. Let's go. Other than that, I just had really fun this whole year with this whole group of guys, and I just can't wait for next season and what next season stores and the new teammates and everything. So whatever happens on Monday night with us 4, it is what it is. I mean, I hope to come up out on top, but if I finish 4th out of us 4, it's completely fine too. I just enjoyed being here and having this whole experience.
I got one more real quick for everybody. Real quick answer. A couple words here. What if you win the championship? $400. What's the purchase? What are you going to get?
Well,
Brady.
Go ahead, Brady.
I'm gonna give back some of it to the league. I like putting on some races and just giving back, regardless where I finish at. That's what I'm gonna do with most of it. But probably go buy a couple of cases of beer and get drunk and celebrate. That's usually what I'll do. But yeah, I like giving back to the league. I don't do it for the money. I don't really care about the money. It's just an added bonus for a bunch of people. But yeah, give back, put on some fun races for some guys that, may not, get an opportunity, do like a Dega race, give away $100 to the winner or something like that, so yeah, I'm gonna give back to the league, because I feel like, I've done that. I've always stayed consistent with that. So I'll probably continue to do that and have a party, for a big party. So, and I just want to, before I go, I might be the odd man out, Nate, but I just want to let everybody know that Mission One Esports is the team championship on Monday night. So,
Hey, you're just lucky you have teammates that finish every race. I
That's
didn't
right.
have that.
That's right.
I didn't have that.
All right, Nathan. That's a good answer. I appreciate. It's really nice of you. I appreciate it. But Nathan, hopefully yours is not quite as boring as this old man's answer. So, what are you going to purchase with your $400?
Well, every year me and my son have a camping trip down to Dover. Go down there and camp for a few days. And this year, money's tight, inflation of everything, and don't really have the money to go down. I already spent almost $1,000 on another camping trip that's coming up. Go to Pocono for almost a whole week with my old man and a bunch of buddies. So I told my old boy, my son, I said if I get at least second place next Monday night, I'll be able to take us down to Dover and camp out and everything for a couple of days. So that's
Nice.
why I need to at least get
Damn,
second.
Adam. I
So
don't know, bro. I think I done
I'm
changed
telling
my
you,
answer
man,
on who I'm rooting for.
I won't be fighting for
Hey.
that. If I get
At
into
least
second
second. I
next,
tell you what, I'll give you second, Carey third, and Brady
but
fourth.
if I get into second place, next week,
He said
and
second. He said I always got
I'm
to
going.
second.
I just got.
Okay.
I just gotta get second. I'll be all right with that. I mean, honestly, there's a good chance next week if you see me getting to second, I'm just gonna settle there and I'll be happy with second place.
Oh, don't
Well,
worry.
But
and if you didn't get second, if I had the money, I'd send you to Dover myself, bro. But
I want a cutting board. That's why I want to win.
what? A cutting
I said
board.
I want a cutting board like
Yeah.
Steven. So,
Yeah.
Does the champion get anything cool like that?
A
What do they
cutting
get?
board, Adam. You get a.
Are they
You
gonna get a cutting board?
They get a cutting board. I
No,
love my
that's
cutting board.
that's
You know what? Y'all
sponsored
can
on
talk
Friday
shit, and I
nights.
talk
So
shit all the
until we get
time.
a sponsor for that, we don't have nothing like that for
Okay.
Mondays.
Well, Brady,
I
I
love
will
it.
sponsor whatever the heck it costs. You just tell me what it is.
I love it. Carey, what are you buying with your
The
$400
champion
when you
deserves
win
a
this
trophy.
championship?
My $400 going to my wife, and
Oh,
yep,
see,
that's about it.
how boring ass answer, man.
Yeah, well,
No, that's a smart answer. That is
That's
a
what you have to
smart
Is she
answer.
watching?
That's
yeah,
that's,
she's
you
behind-
saw her
behind him
walking
like
in the
every
background. That's
5
why he said
minutes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's cooking dinner right now.
You
so
can message us
it's
later about your
it's
actual answer.
Yeah.
yeah. That's a politically correct answer right now, but yeah.
Adam,
Oh yeah.
what are you purchasing, man?
So
Sorry, Carey, did I cut you off? You
No,
got
it's all
something
good.
else?
It's all good. It's all good. No.
I
She's
still
welcome.
run a single monitor with a top monitor. I've had 2 monitors sitting in my freaking closet since Black Friday that were on sale and I bought them, and I've been waiting on my rig company to put a freaking triple monitor mount back in stock, but they haven't done it. So I'm just gonna buy another triple monitor mount if we do good.
I know that'll cost your whole 400 for that crap.
Yeah, it
I'm
will
sure.
for sure.
I want to change my answer.
All right, let's hear it.
I want to help pay for those extra 2 tires that Steven always forgets to pay for the championship race. So I'm going to donate the 400 to
I
Steven so he
won
can buy
this
2 more tires.
championship because I took 4 tires and beat the dude that took 2. That joke is long gone.
Yeah,
Brady.
it also helped that I completely messed up
Tyler,
the
you
second
was
to last
nowhere
race of the
near, but don't worry
season,
about it.
and then my steering wheel broke at Vegas because I would have won that race just to spite you. Despite you winning the championship, you would still finish second.
Hey, championship though, I've been fine. But Brady, that joke's done. It's
No, never
It's still,
forget.
it's still
the
kind
old
of
joke will never be
Still
done
kinda
with you,
funny.
but that one
We'll
is
never forget.
it's a
We'll
wrap,
never
bro.
forget. You want to forget about it. Everybody else won't.
It's forgotten about because of this cutting board right here.
It's a nice cutting board.
You'll
is.
always have to remember that I did it before you.
You did. I got your sloppy seconds, but it was a hell of a seconds, buddy. I liked it.
Well, I do appreciate you all coming on and talking to us. And I know some people had to miss a few races. Some people had to step out of some other things. But appreciate you all spending time talking with us tonight. I appreciate being able to host this podcast. I've watched them. I've enjoyed them so far. It's a great job so far, Steven and Adam, on this show. It's been a blast. And maybe you'll get me on for a little one-on.
Hey, you came in here and killed
time,
it, man. So if we can
Yeah.
get you in here anytime you like, I mean, I hope Adam feels the same way. I would love it.
appreciate you,
Killed it.
especially covering for me, Tyler.
No, I appreciate helping out and doing whatever I can to help you guys out. And again, appreciate the Champ 4 for sitting down and being so honest and having fun with us tonight. And at this point in time, we're going to end tonight's NASRA 360 podcast. Again, special thank you to all the league sponsors, Millie Restaurant Catering, Butt Kicker, Darren's Northern Repair, Over the Top Designs, Pulse Poppers, Triple M Pulling Trucks, SimRacerHub.com, and every other sponsor out there that makes this happen here at NASRA. We could not do it without you. And shout out to everyone who puts their heart and soul into this this company, or not really company, but this set of series. And again, congrats to our Champ 4. Wishing them the best of luck on Monday. Tune in Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, Chicagoland, to watch these 4 drivers duke it out. Until then, we'll see you next week.
These guys.